Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Graham from the School of Teacher Education at National Taiwan Normal University. Welcome to this series on Classroom English for Taiwanese Bilingual Schools. In today's video, I will discuss ways that you can start your class in English. As you can imagine, there are many different ways and various combinations of English phrases that you could use at the beginning of your class. However, if you are teaching a class of Taiwanese learners where the majority of students are at the beginning stages of developing their English proficiency, then I recommend you pick just a set few phrases that you will use every single class. So with that in mind, today I will provide you with a simple 3-stage script for starting your bilingual class. You should first begin with a greeting. The simplest greeting is to just say, "Hello, class." Alternatively, you could start with "Good morning, class," or "Good afternoon, class." All of these phrases are fine. But like I suggested earlier, you should probably stick to only one. After you have greeted the class, I think it's also appropriate for the class to greet you back by saying together, "Hello, teacher," or "Good morning, teacher," or "Good afternoon, teacher." Now, I feel obligated to share that in American education culture, at least where I grew up, it was considered rude to call the teacher teacher. My teachers expected to be called either Mr. or Ms. and whatever their last name was. Not only that, but if we were to call them by their first name, that would have also been considered disrespectful in the schools that I attended. As we know, in Taiwanese culture, those things are actually culturally appropriate. Calling someone teacher or using their first name wouldn't be considered rude here. Why share about this cultural difference? Well, if your school has an international teacher, I recommend that you have a discussion with that teacher and with your students about how the international teacher should be addressed. Rather than students replying, "Good morning, teacher," the students may instead need to learn to say, for example, "Good morning, Mr. Smith," when responding to the international teacher's greeting. On the first days of school, students will need to be trained on how to best respond to all their teachers. After the students reply with a greeting, we are now going to move to the next stage where we announce the topic. We can do this by simply saying, "Today we will learn about," and then name the topic. When you name the topic, it's also very important that you point to a picture or do some type of action, because students probably won't be familiar with that word. By simultaneously providing a visual while they hear the word, the students will be able to infer what that topic is, even if they don't know the English. The final stage of starting your class will be initiating an action. Depending on what happens next, you may use one of the following phrases. "Please look at the board." "Please listen to me." "Please take out your book, turn to page," or "Please turn to your partner, discuss this question." These will be the most common phrases, but of course, what you will say will largely depend on your lesson and your subject. But one thing I want you to notice is that each of these follow the same pattern. Please, plus an action verb, then some additional details. No matter what you say, I recommend that you try to keep the sentence to 5 words or less for classes where English proficiency is low. And always use gestures and visuals to support that language. Now, let me put all that language together for you in a simple example. "Good morning, class." "Good morning, Dr. Graham. Today we will learn about Mozart. Please listen to the music." Now, before I close today's video, I'd like to mention that some teacher educators may disagree with me on the idea I shared with you that you should use the same language every class. Instead, these teacher educators will probably suggest that you frequently change your language so that students are exposed to a variety of different phrases. There are merits to that position, but I think context matters. I think that type of strategy, using a variety of phrases, is only suitable when students have developed comfort with bilingual learning and have reached a certain degree of proficiency in English. The truth is, in many of Taiwanese bilingual schools right now, I don't think students are ready to be flooded with various English phrases. I think what they need is consistency so that they develop a comfort with English first. That being said, I do encourage you to monitor your class's situation and make decisions about when would be appropriate to keep language consistent or when it's appropriate to add something new. Thank you for watching this video in my Classroom English series. If you have any questions about this video or other aspects of using English in schools, send me an email. at kmgraham@ntnu.edu.tw. I look forward to seeing you in other videos in this series.